Aloha shifters, once again, this is Brendan, aka Wolf, aka Skull Babylon, welcoming you to another team tarot reading, a live team tarot reading that we do on Facebook and then we post it up to YouTube afterwards. So thank you again everyone for tuning into this, wherever you are, whenever you are. What we're going to be doing here, as I give you just a general introduction, is going to be doing a tarot reading for the team to be able to call in any inspiration, any particular messages that the universe has for us in this moment, and then kind of relating that back to the collective idea, the collective objective of the Paradigm Shift Central project, which is about being able to help build a global team of shifters, about being able to help create physical paradigm shift communities, about being able to encourage people to go out there to take action and to choose to be the change that they wish to see in the world. So for those of you who aren't entirely familiar, again, tarot is an opportunity for the universe to be able to communicate to us through the language of symbols. So when we do these, this isn't so much like, hey, this is like a fortune telling, as much as it is like, hey, here's a mirror for us to be able to see parts of ourselves. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning into this. Please feel free to share this broadcast if you're watching it live, if you're watching it in the future, and leave some comments down below. Your engagement is always appreciated and is super important. So just drop some, let us know where you're tuned in from. Drop some 1111, say hello, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. So as we get into this, as I charge the deck, the intention that we set when we do these is a general intention of just show us what we need to see. That is kind of the basis that we go with it. If those of you who are looking to get a little bit deeper in terms of tarot readings, for those of you who aren't familiar, I want to be able to invite you to contact me to set up personal one-on-one tarot reading and intuitive reflection sessions that I do for people in the community. And those are available for a pay what you wish contribution between $5 and $25 US. So it's a sliding scale. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're someone who is at a point in their life where they're just seeking some guidance, some clarity, some inspiration, or maybe you just want someone to talk to, I am here to be able to hold space for you. We've been doing them for quite a while, and amazing feedback on every single one that we've done. So thank you again, and again, all you gotta do is feel free to send me a message if that's something you're interested in. So as we get into this, I just invite you to hold this space with me. I'm excited to see what card the universe has for us in this moment. So I would just invite you to take a moment here to center into your breath collectively. That's kind of the power when we do this. Collectively, what is the card that is being pulled for us in this moment? At the time of the broadcast, it's a new moon right now, so there's a lot of potent energy that we're working with. So let's just kind of center our breath. Take a moment here, close our eyes, and just focus in on the message, the intention of show us what we need to see. So I'll hold that space with you too, and we will pull this card together. So, oh great universe, show us what we need to see. Do the sound effects help? Always. Okay. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, here we go. Awesome. Sweet. Here we go. Here's the card that we have for today. The card is, very cool, The Lovers. So let me just pull open the book, and I'll take, what I'll do is I'll give you a reading from this, and then from there we'll kind of link it into the importance of what it means in this moment, how it relates to the bigger Paradigm Shift Central project. And so let me hold up the card for you there. You can take a look at it. And so of course this is like a very like archetypal card, part of the major arcana, and you can see this kind of like a masculine feminine figure kind of like created as clouds in the sky, and you have the symbolic vision of the rose underneath it. So very, very cool stuff. All right, let's read into this, and this is from the deck, the Ananda Tarot deck. So as you listen to this, if you just want to close your eyes, allow yourself to be receptive to whatever messages resonate with you in this moment. So, The Lovers, the image. Oblivious to outer influences and wrapped tenderly in one another's arms, two lovers appear to float in seventh heaven above all earthly matters. Meaning, as long as someone else exists, we are not alone. The symbolism of the original sin in the book of Genesis represents the ability to differentiate, which Adam and Eve acquired after they ate from the tree of knowledge. The awareness of the existence of polar opposites is the same as being run out of the paradise of the unconscious, which now opens a new horizon due to the acquired knowledge. Let me reread that. The awareness of the existence of polar opposites is the same as being run out of the paradise of the unconscious, which now opens a new horizon to the acquired knowledge. That's some like deep stuff right there, right? So, the logical consequences of freedom of choice is responsibility for self. This also means that mankind, released from the instinctive behavior, rises to a new level of development. Again, let me reread that. This means that mankind, released from instinctive behavior, rises to a new level of development. Above and beyond subconscious drive, man is now in the position of being able to differentiate himself between himself and others, and to restore divided unity with love by recognizing himself reflected in others. So there's more to read here, but again, you can see this isn't just like a lovers, as in like a a romantic relationship. This is like much deeper that we're getting into. So we'll hit upon that in a bit. If we meet someone who is on the same wavelength as ourselves, who is of the same wavelength of ourselves, we find a part of ourselves in him or her. Trust is able to grow from the natural empathy that this recognition brings. A partnership is able to develop from trust. Every partnership has certain agreements at its foundation, no matter what type they may be. They are agreements that keep in all of our relationships with people, whether they are spoken or not. No contract, however, can bind us to love. No power in the world can force it. No actions can force love. Love is only won by love. If we are in love, we project our own ideal onto the other. This is how we develop our individual expectations. If these expectations are not fulfilled, we are disappointed. The other person fulfills the purpose of awakening love in us. Once we are inwardly touched by this singular experience, everything else that has ever played a role in our life loses its meaning. If we love the other person for our own purpose, we degrade him or her to an object of desire. Well, that's really, really key. Let me read it again. If we love the other person for our own purpose, we degrade him or her to an object of desire. If we love the other person because of who he or she is, we respect him or her. Above and beyond the level of human relationships, the card of the lovers shows us the example of leaving the Garden of Eden, that we should not see the losses, but the possibilities that are offered to us in the consciousness of freedom of choice. Astrological significance: Venus, Mars, Libra. Keywords: sacrificial love, selfless service, togetherness, world of duality, recognition, differentiation ability, becoming conscious, attraction, soul connections, realizing possibilities. Traditional meaning: lust for life, union of opposites, harmonious partnership, new meanings, partnerships, romantic relationships, and beginning of a new phase of life. So this is a very, very powerful card to be able to receive right now. And so I think what is important to be able to keep in mind with this card is that like this card, it's not just talking about like a romantic relationship that we have in our life. This is a card that's kind of talking about the relationship that we develop between ourselves and the entire world, between ourselves and our friends, between ourselves and our family, between ourselves and strangers in that sense. At a very primordial base level, this card is really about being able to see ourselves in the other. And so this is why this card, you know, like it's not common that like even in the readings that it's specifically referencing like the Bible and things like that. And though oftentimes you won't hear me talking about the Bible, there is credence to being able to understand what the metaphors in the Bible represent. And so in this case, you know, like eating from the tree of knowledge, symbolically kind of represents like awakening from the unconscious perspective of like having the soul kind of creating this division between ourself and others. So the tree of knowledge, when you bite from that, it's realizing that like, oh, like this other person, this Adam, this Eve, like they're not actually a whole separate, like they're not entirely separate from me. Like it is an extension of me. Myself and them are one and the same. And so again, it is being able to rise from like the unconscious into the conscious. And that's really what, when we think about, you know, like what does it mean to be a lover? What does it mean to be in a romantic relationship? And not even just in a romantic relationship, but what does it mean to see the world through the eyes of the lover? It is about being able to see yourself and your surroundings. It is about being able to see yourself and others. And that is essentially what life, a big part of it, is about. Consciousness is a mirror test. It's being able to see yourself in your surroundings. And so this card, it is about being able to kind of like love the world as if it is your lover. And what does that really mean, you know? So I mean, like that means that like if you're, and I'm just giving an actual example, you know, like if you're like out on the streets doing free hugs, something that I do now and then, and you're going down the street and you see a homeless person on the street, you know, why does that trigger us so much? And I think the reason why that triggers us so much on multiple levels is because that in itself is a mirror test, and it is showing us a part of ourselves that we are afraid to look at. And so oftentimes, instead of like going up and connecting with the person who may be on the streets, you know, like we'll turn away from it. We don't want to look at it. And yet in doing that, we're not looking at a part of ourselves. And so that in itself is like this huge mirror test. So what happens in context of this card, to be able to see, as an example, the person on the street, anybody, really anybody, as you, as like through the eyes of the lover, to be able to see them as an equal, to be able to see them as an equally whole piece, an extension of fractal of consciousness. How does that change your approach to them? Suddenly, you know, you might be down on one knee talking to them, giving them attention, giving them some love in that moment. And so it's very important that this card is reminding us that we do not need to be in a romantic relationship with another person to be able to embody the archetype of what the lovers represent. And so in many ways, you know, like this could also kind of, if you want to take it to that level, it could also be talking about like the union of like the lovers within ourselves, you know, this balancing of masculine and feminine within ourselves. Can we allow ourselves to be that? And so I think when it comes to manifesting love, part of the journey is being able to like find, not just find, but to remember the wholeness within ourselves. And when we do that, we're moving ourselves into a vibration that allows us to manifest our next relationship from a place of excitement and abundance, opposed like from just like a place of like lack and a place of need, so to speak. Now, don't get me wrong. Relationships and things like that, they come into our life with purpose. They come into our life when we need them. There's nothing in this reality that happens by accident. This too is the perfect reality. So if you're manifesting a relationship, it's matching the vibration that you're putting out. And so in that sense, if you're looking to, you know, like have a relationship that is really deep and meaningful, then it makes sense to be able to develop a deep and meaningful relationship with yourself first, so that it can be reflected from the person that you're meeting. And so again, you know, like the key words in this: selfless service, togetherness, world of duality, recognition, becoming conscious. This card is so much about just like the awakening of consciousness, to move from that shift. And I'm asking you, do you remember what it was like earlier in your life when you were unconscious to the fact that everything is a reflection of us, of ourselves, of the one, of the whole? Do you remember what that was like? And do you remember when you kind of had this like ego story where it's just like, I am me, they are them? But do you remember what it was like when you shifted, when you remembered, when you began to awaken in the dream, and you're just like, oh my God, you know, you look into the eyes of another person, you're just like that's Like, you see yourself, like, that's God, like, that's me. That's the wholeness that we all are. And so this card is calling us into that state of being, into that state of remembrance, regardless of whether or not we're actually in a romantic relationship. It's inviting us to embody the energy of what it means to be a lover all day long, throughout our life, as an archetype, as a way of being. Can you approach this world? Can you go out there today and see your coworkers, see people on the street, see the bus driver, see your friends, see your family as someone who you can recognize as someone who you deeply love, as someone who you love? You know, we love people on different degrees. We love people on different levels. And I think that's natural. But at your heart, check in with yourself. Can you practice that? Can you practice not just expressing, but holding the same amount of love for all beings who you encounter? Not even just humans, animals as well, right? So, I mean, to be a lover does not mean to always be romantic with someone. You can be a lover to anyone that you meet. You know, again, like, the word love has like many, many different meanings, right? So we're not just, when we say like, oh, like, I am your lover, what does that mean, right? It means that, like, I see the you that is me and I love you. Namaste. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. I love you. In that sense, I am your lover. Again, not in like the traditional way that we think about it, but let's change the word. Let's shift the paradigms in this sense. So again, this card really calls us into not only the importance of being able to see the world through the lens of the lover, of the lovers, but also the excitement that it brings, the shift that it brings, the understanding that it brings, the expansion that it brings with it. And that in itself is a really important thing, and it's a very powerful energy to be able to hold right now. This world needs more love. So let us hold that energy of the lovers and let us bring it with us out there into our day-to-day lives. Again, whether it be like with our intimate relationships or whether it just be with our friends. And I challenge you to even hold that energy with strangers. Let other people know that they are loved by carrying that vibration within yourself. Let it be expressed not just through how you feel, but also through your words and through your deeds. So that is a very, very important and powerful energy to be able to have in this moment. That's... Dallin, you okay? Dallin agrees. So again, you know, I love my dog, Dallin. He's off screen right now. He's just like breathing, and so he's okay. Okay. So again, huge card, very important, calling us into the archetype of the lover. Let's go out there. Let's be the lovers that this world needs, you know? So, and again, like when you, and I'll just expand on this a little bit further. If you are in the place where you are in a romantic relationship with someone, if you are in an intimate relationship with someone, what does that teach you, right? Like, that teaches you so much, because the importance of having another person in your life who you have a relationship with is that it allows you to see how you show up in that moment. And that's powerful, right? You know, like if we're sitting in our room and everything like that, we're interacting with ourselves, that's one thing. But when we go out there and we interact with other people, it's not just the influence that we have on them, it's them being a mirror for us to see how we show up. You know, so like if we're in an intimate relationship with someone, we'd be like, oh, sweet, this is giving me an opportunity to express my love. And we need that. We need to be able to practice expressing our love with romantic partners and with friends and family and strangers. So don't wait for a romantic partner to show up in your life to start carrying the energy of what the lover represents. Find wholeness in yourself. And again, love yourself, be the lover for yourself. That's an important thing too, right? Kind of like hold this idea of seeing yourself as your own lover, as like being in a relationship with yourself. So this is this is an awesome card. Like, I feel like it could go even deeper, so I want to be able to ask you guys, you know, what do you get out of this card? Drop some comments down below. Let's read into it a little bit deeper as a community. And again, you know, just hitting upon the other things, realizing possibilities, soul connections. So it is being able to see the soul connection that we all share. So let us be, you know, lovers in this beautiful world. For that is what the world needs right now, you know, like that gentle kiss to the forehead, like that is what the world needs right now. It's just like, hey, like, you know, like, let your worries wash away, like you are loved in this moment, like. And again, in relation to the Paradigm Shift Central Project, this is why we encourage you guys to go out there and do things like free hugs, like holding community space, by being able to lead by example. Because a free hug with a stranger accomplishes very much the same ideal, the same idea of like what symbolically what that kiss on the forehead represents. You know, when you're hugging someone in a genuine moment, it is you being able to express like the love of the universe. So the love that you carry, let that be an extension of the love of like God, if you want to use that term. It's the primordial energy that the universe itself resonates at, you know, like the heart frequency 432, the Om, things like that. Like that is who we are. We literally are love. Like literally. Like it's weird to kind of think about, and then like over time we like created these bodies and things got all complicated and things like that, but we are created to resonate that frequency, that warmth, that connection, that welcomeness, that inspiration, that kind of thing that where it's just like, again, it kind of like eases, it heals. Like it's so powerful, right? Just think of all the things that love does. So this is why this card is important. This is a very powerful reminder for us to be able to receive in this moment. Let us be the lovers for this world. Let us be the lovers for ourselves and for others. So there we go. That's the card in this moment for the week for the team. So shout out to all of you lovers out there. You guys are doing great. Thank you so much. And again, keep working on loving yourself, and in turn you allow yourself to continue to love others. And I'll just say this one thing, you know, like some people say like, oh, you have to love yourself before you can love others. Sometimes it's a bit of both, right? Because by loving others, you see how you show up in love, right? So and that's a very interesting term, right? In love. What does it mean to be in love? Again, it's like to be in the vibration of love, but realistically, we are always in love. We are in an ocean of love right now. And let's not forget, this is an important thing, let's not forget that the power that love has to be able to transmute. You know, this is where we get into the alchemy of things, like the social alchemy, the idea that, you know, like fear and hate is not separate from love. It's just it's just like an extension of the same spectrum. So if we try to divide things from this duality to think like this is love and this is hate and they're two different things, that's only going to get us so far. We need to understand that it's all love. Like it's literally one spectrum of love. And so what we want to do, we want to like, instead of almost imagining it as like left to right, imagine love as like a symmetrical mandala. Like a perfect symmetrical mandala, sacred geometry at its prime. And hate and chaos would just be that exact same pattern, but slightly discombobulated. So it'd be like kind of like spread out or kind of like squished around. It'd be like some kid was drawing a picture and kind of just like put paint all over the place and things like that, right? And so like that's still this, it's still using the same paint. It's still using the same elements. It's still love. It's not anything but love, but all we have to do is rearrange it to calibrate it using of our vibration, and we'll be able to see that the love is still there, that it always was love. So just check in with that little paradigm shift, understanding that fear and hate is actually still love. It's just love that's been like exploded into chaos. And so our purpose is to be able to stand in the midst of that chaos sometimes and to hold the vibration of love to bring things back to symmetry, to bring things back to harmony. And that is what love does. Love is like kind of like that frequency that harmonizes things, that kind of like dissolves illusions and brings us back to our deeper remembrance of who we are and our interconnectedness. So yeah, there's some, geez, again, right? It's like, do you want me to talk for another half hour? Because I could, so... But we'll leave it at that for now. So again, inviting you guys, how does this card resonate with you? What is love to you? What does it mean to be the lovers for you? Leave your comments down below, and I look forward to being able to read with those and reply to them afterwards. So there you go, the lovers. So breathe that in. That's awesome. And like the flower, that's like the, you know, the lotus, the mind expanding and things like that. So very cool. Awesome stuff. Beautiful. So again, thank you so much everyone for tuning into this. We'll just do a very short meditation to kind of anchor in the end of this broadcast as we move forward with the intentions that we have for this week to embody what it means to be a lover, if that is something you feel called to. And before we do that, again, I'll just remind you guys that if you guys are interested in being able to get one-on-one tarot reading and intuitive reflection sessions, just send me a message. That is a great way to be able to support me in doing what I do as a regular thing for the community. And we do those online through video chat, so it's super easy. So again, just send me a message, and they are available as a pay what you wish contribution between $5 and $25 US. And other ways that you can support the community, of course, are on Patreon, patreon.com/Brendan Culton. Sign up for there, and you will be able to get your Shifter Booster Kit, which will help you amplify your abilities as a lover by giving you your laminated free hug signs, which will last through all sorts of weather in the apocalypse, and also the shift buttons. And a lot of you guys already know what these are, but again, for those of you who may be new, the shift buttons have the Paradigm Shift Central on the website, and so you can link that. They have the Paradigm Shift Central website on the rim, and so you can give these to people while doing free hugs. You can be a lover and be like, here, have a gift, and you can link them back to the main Paradigm Shift Central website, which links them into future broadcasts in the collective team that we got. And of course, when you sign up for the Patreon, you also get your Light Guardian Crystal, which is an exclusive item available for people within the project. And the Patreon is a pay what you wish contribution of only $5 a month, if that what works for you. So again, patreon.com/Brendan Culton. Thank you again to our Patreon supporters already. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a message. So much love. Let's finish this with a slight closing meditation. Invite you to close your eyes. Take a couple breaths here. And let's just take a moment to really breathe into our awareness the purpose of what it means to be a lover. So as you breathe in this moment, gentle inhales and gentle exhales. Feel in your heart the power and the purpose of what it means to be a lover. A lover of yourself, a lover of consciousness, a lover of the world, a lover of friends, families, strangers, perhaps even enemies, if we want to use that term. So as we breathe here, let us connect with our heart, the source point for the vibration of love itself, in collaboration with all of our vibrating points throughout our body, our chakras. So just take a few moments here to just breathe, and to just embody the harmony of what it means to be a lover, of what it means to explore what it means to be a lover. For that in itself is the journey. It is not simply one thing. It is constantly fluctuating. Your expression of being a lover will be different from someone else's. And that in itself is beautiful, and we honor that. So as you continue to breathe here, holding space for each other. And so, as we call in this light, let us be lovers through the midst of all these dark nights. Let us transmute the fear with the pulse that we emanate. Let us be able to dissolve and rid all the hate. For peace is our nature, and harmony is who we are, as we echo the resonance of each cosmic star. For the light is the love, and the love is infinite truth. As we allow ourselves to truly move through the chaos and the illusion with dance and with deep joy, let us be grateful for the love of this moment as we allow ourselves to truly let it flow. And so to all the lovers out there on this path we call life, I thank you for being here, for shining your light. Your actions will change the world. Your impact will affect this dream. For you are the lover, and you are more powerful than it may seem. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for all that it is ahead. For our journey has only just begun. Take another deep breath here. Feel any activation sensation of the spine, tinglings, all that good stuff. Feel welcome to invite yourself to promise to devote yourself to being a lover, to becoming a better lover. And what does that mean for you? To grow along that path, to courageously be a lover. Beautiful. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and turn your awareness to the space around you. Awesome. So again, like, as important as it is to be a lover, I think another thing I'll just add to that is the value of being that, like, warrior lover, that archetype that is not just the lover, but is like a very specific part of the lover archetype, which is like that courageous lover, the lover who will have the courage to go into the midst of darkness, to go into the chaos, to go into the fray with love. That is like the archetype of the light guardian, that ancient warrior archetype who is in tune with the lover archetype, that soft yet strong presence that each of us has inside of us, that each of us can evoke. So as we wrap up this broadcast, I just invite you to tap a little bit deeper into that, to not just be the lover, but to be like that, like, warrior lover. What does that mean? That means like not giving up, persevering, adapting, overcoming with love. So doing the things that others may not. So thank you again, everyone, for being a part of this. As always, I honor you, I see you, and I thank you for being here. Again, join us for future broadcasts at ParadigmShiftCentral.com. If you haven't yet, you can create your profile online there. We got broadcasts for team roundtables on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and global meditations on Sundays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can tune in for both of those at live.ParadigmShiftCentral.com. And of course, subscribe at youtube.com/SkullBabylon if you not already yet. You're probably already watching this on YouTube. Leave your comments down below. Let me know that you guys tuned into this. Thank you so much. As always, continue to share this video with your friends and go out there, help change the world. Support on Patreon. Much love. Keep it shifty, and I will see you guys in the future. Thank you again, and yeah, I love you.